In the world of business, there are leaders, and then there are companies that completely change the game. For more than a decade, one name has been synonymous with the electric car revolution. But this story, a high-stakes tale of innovation and incredible pressure, well, the final chapter is far from written. You know, in the fast-moving world of tech and business, there's one truth that always holds. No throne is ever permanent. To really understand where Tesla is going, we first have to appreciate the empire it's already built. And that's a story of, frankly, breathtaking ambition and near-flawless execution. See, Tesla's real stroke of genius wasn't just building an electric car that people actually wanted. It was building the entire ecosystem around it. They didn't just sell you a vehicle, they built the charging network you needed to power it, and developed software so smart it felt less like a car and more like a computer on wheels. Each part supports the others, creating this incredibly powerful, interlocking advantage. And this ecosystem, well, it created a huge competitive moat around them. Being first meant they got to set the terms for the entire EV conversation. Their brand inspires a kind of loyalty that other car makers can only dream about. But maybe most importantly, every single Tesla on the road is a rolling data collector. It's constantly feeding billions of miles of real-world driving data back home, and that is an absolute goldmine for training the AI that they believe will define the future. And yet, if you listen closely, that sound you hear on the horizon, that's the thunder of approaching giants. The days of having the whole field to themselves are officially over. The hunt is on. For years, a lot of people saw the traditional automakers as, sleeping giants. Well, they are wide awake now. Powerhouses like Ford, Volkswagen, and China's BYD are pouring tens of billions of dollars into their own EV programs. And they bring enormous scale, manufacturing know-how, and a century of experience to the fight. They aren't just trying to catch up anymore, they're aiming to take the lead. So this new battlefield brings enormous challenges. The competition is suddenly fierce and extremely well-funded. Governments all over the world are bringing in complex new regulations, changing the rules of the game. And on top of all that, there's the sheer brutal difficulty of trying to scale production to millions of cars across multiple continents. It's a logistical nightmare. Growth is no longer a given. It has to be fought for, tooth and nail. What was once a giant chasm between Tesla and the rest of the industry, well, now it's closing, almost day by day. So what do you do when you're faced with this kind of pressure? How does the leader respond? Well, not by playing defense, but by making an even bigger, bolder bet on what comes next. It's a move that could either lock in their dominance for another generation or prove to be a very, very costly mistake. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What is the master plan here? If the fight is no longer just about who can build the most electric cars, where does Tesla place its chips? The new frontier is all about technology. The future won't be won by simply building the most cars, but by mastering the tech that goes inside them. We're talking about the real race now, the race for true autonomous driving, for artificial intelligence, and for that next huge leap in battery innovation. Tesla is betting that it's not really a car company at all, it's a technology company that just happens to make cars. And that brings us to their ace in the hole, the ultimate gambit, artificial intelligence. The goal here isn't just to make a car that drives itself a little better, it's to create the world's first autonomous robo-taxi network, something that could completely redefine transportation as we know it. It's an incredibly high-risk, but staggeringly high-reward strategy that could leave every other company in the dust. So, we've arrived at the final act. We have a dominant leader, a pack of hungry challengers, and this massive technological bet hanging in the balance. All of this brings us to a moment of real, profound uncertainty. So where does this all go? Really, you can see three distinct paths ahead. First, Tesla's big AI gambit pays off, and they solidify their dominance for years to come. Second, the legacy automakers close the gap, and we end up with a much more balanced, competitive market. And then, there's the wild card. Some new player, or some new technology, comes out of nowhere and disrupts the disruptors themselves. In the end, one thing is absolutely certain. Tesla has, without a doubt, already changed the world we live in. But the battle for tomorrow, that ultimate prize, is happening right now. And the outcome is anything but guaranteed. The future is still being written.
This is CorpFile, inside the world of big brands. Subscribe to explore the real stories behind the companies that shape our world.